Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson along with Andrew Bone. Breaking news as Emmanuel Henderson has just committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Definitely hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe here with Andrew Bone to break it all down. Bone, Emmanuel Henderson has committed to Alabama. Let's kind of go in depth and talk about Henderson and what he provides for this class of 2022.
Well, Alabama ended the month of February with a bang and getting Ty Simpson on board and fireworks going off again with Emmanuel Henderson jumping on board to start the month of March for the Crimson Tide. This is a very explosive athlete. One of the top running backs in the country, one of the top athletes in the country. You can see his highlight films. Gets those direct snaps, can take it the distance from just about anywhere on the field. Very explosive, very quick. I think he's got an opportunity to play multiple positions. He can play running back. You can split him out at wide receiver in the slot. He's got great hands, great vision, and I think Alabama, is definitely considering multiple roles for him here in the future, and I think that's what he wants to do. And I spoke with his head coach Jim Bob Stripling the other day, and he basically said the same thing. They're going to line him up at quarterback, running back, wide receiver. They're going to kind of let him do it all. He's going to play a little bit of defensive back. I don't see him as a defender in college. I think he's more of an offensive guy. Kind of like our Darius Stewart coming out of high school. Former Alabama wide receiver, was a quarterback for his high school team, and we weren't really sure what position he was going to play. But I always thought, don't take him off offense. He's too good of an offensive player, and I think the same thing for Emmanuel Henderson. I think he's a dynamic offensive weapon, and certainly somebody that I think Alabama coaches are extremely happy to have on board today.
Here with Andrew Bone talking about Emmanuel Henderson committing to the Alabama Crimson Tide. When we look to kind of the recruiting process, if we can talk about contenders and maybe who recruited Henderson. I know it's early, but if you can talk about some coaches who certainly helped in land Henderson and kind of talk about some other contenders that may have had a shot.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to give a lot of credit to Charles Kelly, his area recruiting coach, who's really been with him from the get go. Alabama's had a couple running back changes with coaching changes with Charles Huff leaving, and now Robert Gillespie, and Coach Gillespie's building that relationship with Henderson. But really, Charles Kelly, I thought he did a great job recruiting him really throughout the process. So a lot of credit to him. But it was a close recruiting battle. Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Clemson. Those were really the top four schools here in the end. And he grew up an Auburn fan. I really liked the Tigers a lot, and they were considered the early favorite for him. But then, things started going a little south for the Tigers during the football season, and that's really when Alabama started to emerge as the favorite. And I'd say probably mid-season, maybe about mid-October, is when Alabama really took command of of the lead for Emmanuel Henderson, and really never relinquished that lead. Has been considered the favorite from then on. And there were some other schools like Georgia and Clemson that were fighting hard. And I think Georgia was probably the closest out-of-state program that could have landed him. But in the end, he chooses Alabama. So obviously, a big pickup, the number 5 commitment for Alabama in this 2022 recruiting class, which is already off to a little bit better start than we were at this time last year. I think there was only 1 commitment on the board this time last year. So good start for Alabama with 5 commitments, and this is a huge get. And this is also somebody who, as of right now, plans on enrolling in January. So always good to get those early enrollees on campus, to get going for the fourth quarter program and spring practice.
Let's touch on a couple other in-state targets that Alabama is currently looking at right now as Emmanuel Henderson jumps on board for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Mention maybe a couple other key targets that we're keeping an eye on as we go into the middle of March, into April, into May.
Well, some of the guys that I could potentially see making early decisions, not really sure if they will or not, but continuing to watch Shamar James, the very talented 6'3", 210-pound athlete from Faith Academy down in Mobile, has a top 8 with Alabama included, but I just think that Alabama is in the driver's seat for him. Maury Kelly, 4-star wide receiver from Hewitt Trustful. I think Alabama in my opinion, is the leader, but wants to kind of take his time with it. Try to take some visits this summer. And Antonio Kite, 4-star defensive back who just completed his first year of high school football at Anniston High School. Also, just won a state basketball championship. Now, recruited more as a safety. He's 6'2", 180 pounds, could potentially play corner. I think Alabama probably wants to see him a little bit. Hopefully, maybe this summer. Just work out. Not saying that he's not a take. I'm just saying that they may want to see him a little bit more to kind of determine, is he a corner or is he a safety at the next level? So those are three guys right off the top of my head that we could potentially see making decisions, sooner rather than later. Now, there's obviously some big name targets that are still out there, like Jeremiah Alexander, the top player in the state, who I still think is probably an Alabama-Georgia recruiting battle, but I don't see a decision happening soon. Curtis Perry and Justice Finkley, two very talented defensive linemen that I think are going to stretch it out a little bit longer. I think they want to take their visits, take their time, being recruited by, several national programs. And then TJ Dudley, 4-star linebacker from Montgomery Catholic. I think Alabama, Clemson, some other schools, still want to see him a little bit more. Alabama, this is a smaller linebacker class this year. So, last 2 years, loaded up really, with a lot of talent at the linebacker position. So just don't see them, I think they're going to take a kind of a, slow approach at the linebacker position with already having one linebacker commitment in Robert Woodyard. So I think they'll be pretty patient with taking any more linebackers right now. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. But definitely TJ Dudley, somebody to continue to watch. But as many people have been predicting that he's going to be the next to commit, or to watch him commit this spring, I think he's going to wait a little bit longer and kind of let this whole thing play out before he makes that decision.
Here with Andrew Bone talking about Emmanuel Henderson committing to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Bone, I know you recently caught up with his head football coach. What did he tell you about his athleticism and just kind of the person that Emmanuel is on and off the field?
Well, just a great kid. He's a leader. He's somebody that, is a vocal leader, but also leads by example. And that's somebody that you really want on your football team. And, just a great kid in the community, and somebody that he really likes and really enjoys coaching. Just tremendous athlete. And like I said earlier, he can line them up at just about anywhere on the field and he's going to have success. So, he's gotten a little bit bigger. He's 6'1", 195 pounds right now. I think his profile page says 185 pounds, but he's gotten a little bit bigger, which is a good thing. And I think he's going to continue to get bigger, continue to get better. And Alabama fans should be very excited about him.
Bone, before we let you go, Ty Simpson, the quarterback, just added, recently. Do you feel that, now that Alabama's class starting to build some momentum, Emmanuel Henderson, Ty Simpson, these guys are going to start to recruit other top talent throughout the nation? We've started to kind of see that on social media a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I think with Ty Simpson, I said this when Ty committed that he was really going to be, take over that leadership role in the class and, really start trying to recruit others and, getting a list of kids to start talking to and reaching out to them, whether he knows them or whether he's just reaching out to them on social media. And we saw that, a couple of days ago, talking back and forth with Walter Nolan, Nick James, who's a defensive lineman down at IMG Academy. Certainly some guys that he's certainly going after. But I'm really interested to see kind of what happens the rest of the way at the running back position, because you get Emmanuel Henderson on board, and like I said, I think he's a very talented athlete, probably recruited more as an athlete than a running back just because he can play multiple positions. So I think Alabama is certainly going to continue to recruit other running backs. We've seen some more offers go out over the course of the last couple of weeks. Nicholas Singleton out of Pennsylvania, Jamarion Miller out of Texas have all picked up offers from Alabama here recently, but there's still some other really talented athletes that they're going after at the running back position. Gavin Sawchuk out of Colorado, George Pettaway out of Virginia, Katron Allen out of IMG Academy. I don't think Alabama's finished at the running back position by a long shot. So, there's still some guys to continue to watch, moving forward. And, they're certainly still pressing for some running backs in this class.
Well, good stuff. Well, Emmanuel Henderson is in for the Alabama Crimson Tide. For more recruiting coverage or to read more on Henderson, go back to BamaInsider.com. He's Andrew Bone. I'm Kyle Henderson. We'll catch you next time right here on BamaInsider.com. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more spring football coverage coming your way right here on BamaInsider.com.